Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is December 11th, 2024, and this is the agenda review meeting for the Pittsburgh Public Schools and Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit. We will get tonight started with the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit and Ms. Jennifer Solak.
Thank you, Mr. Walker, and good evening, everyone. I have one item tonight under business payments authorized. 25.01 are daily payments for the month of November. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm assuming we don't have any questions on the daily payments, so we will move on to the Pittsburgh agenda, and we will start with our education section. I will turn it over to Dr. Sean McNeil.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Sean McNeil, Assistant Superintendent for Professional Development and Special Programming. There is one item under Education Proposal Grant Awards. Item 5.01 is to accept a grant to support physical fitness and health and wellness programming at Pittsburgh Sunnyside. There are 5 items under Education Consultants Contracted Services. Item 6.01 is to approve payment to One Nation Mentoring Group to provide mentoring services at Pittsburgh Carmel. Item 6.02 is for a contract with Center of Life for the implementation of a mentoring program at Pittsburgh Mifflin. Item 6.03 is for a contract with Dr. Karen Hall to provide professional learning in team building and strategic leadership. Item 6.04 is to approve payment to the Hugh Lane Wellness Foundation to provide online and in-person CCS programming. Item 6.05 is to approve payment to Point Park University to provide summer programming for up to 50 students. There are 6 items under Education Payments Authorized. Item 7.01 is to approve payment to CNS Hood and Exhaust Cleaning for providing specialized cleaning services for the Westinghouse Culinary Arts Lab. Item 7.02 is to approve payment to Max Gonzalez to plan and facilitate a professional learning workshop for visual arts teachers. Item 7.03 is to approve payment to Grafton School, Inc. for trauma-informed and restraint-free training. Item 7.04 is to approve payment to Scholastic Book Fairs for providing on-site book fairs for all Summer Boost sites. Item 7.05 is to approve payment to the Vanka Murals to plan and facilitate professional learning workshop for visual arts teachers. Item 7.06 is to approve payment to Veneer Science Education to provide in-person professional learning to science teachers. There are 6 items under the Education General Authorization. Item 8.01 is to accept a donation from Alpha Residential of Power Tools homework kits for students at Pittsburgh Sunnyside. Item 8.02 is to accept a donation from Citizens Bank of various musical instruments and supplies for PPS students. Item 8.03 is to accept a donation of up to $3,500 from Giant Eagle for the purchase of art and music supplies. Item 8.04 is to accept a $1,500 donation from Kona Ice to provide incentives for students at Pittsburgh Langley. Item 8.05 is to amend item 8.08 approved at the July 24th, 2024 legislative meeting. The reason for this amendment is to increase the contract amount for one provider based on additional services provided for the 2024 Summer Boost program. Item 8.06 is a placeholder to approve the 2025-2026 course of study catalog. That concludes the education section of the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. McNeil. Do we have any questions from board members that need to be talked about? Ms. Yord.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. I see a number of items on here related to the Summer Boost program, and I'm hoping to get clarification from the administration on that, because my understanding was that that is not moving forward next summer. I see some of the dates are for 2024, but just hoping to get clarification on that.
Ronald Joseph, Chief Financial Officer. So those are all for the 2024 program, the program that occurred this past summer. One is for an authorization to pay for the Scholastic Book Fairs that already occurred, so this is allowing us to pay for those services. And the other one is an amendment to contracts that were previously approved to accurately reflect the number of students that were served by a particular vendor.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. That's all my questions, Mr. Walker.
Other questions? Ms. Talaferro.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Not too many questions, actually just one. I know there were a series of policies that were pulled, and I just wanted to just get clarity so we have the public record as to why they were pulled.
So these items were pulled because we were notified that the policies were not posted on the website to allow for the public to have 30 days to review. So since we didn't provide that 30-day review period, and these policies were only just posted in the board doc system, so they're being pulled and being revisited in January, and those policies are being posted on the website to allow the public to review both the clean and red line versions and have a full opportunity to review and comment.
Thank you for that explanation, Mr. Joseph. And then I just wanted to make just two quick comments. The Highmark 5.01, the Highmark Foundation grant for Sunnyside. So I just wanted to thank Highmark for that donation and to support the students at Pittsburgh Sunnyside. And then also 6.01, the One Nation mentoring contract with Carmel. I'm really excited to see that One Nation mentoring is expanding their impact on our students. To the students at Carmel, I had the pleasure of working with them during my time at Brashear in the programming and the great work that they did there. So I'm really excited to see that they are moving into the Carmel space and with our elementary and middle school students. So I'm really excited to hear how that all unfolds as that program gets moving. But it's definitely a beneficial resource that we have and the work that they do in this district. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And with that, I end my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I was actually going to ask about the 6.01 because the dates on it show that this contract is complete. Is this a completed contract or ongoing?
I'm not sure. I will have to follow up with the principal.
Okay, yeah, because the dates on the tab say August 2024 to October 2024, which a couple of months ago. So, all right. I'm hoping it's just an ongoing, or the dates are wrong. All right, if there are no more questions under the education section, we will now move on to the business section, and I will turn it over to Mr. Joseph.
There are 20 items under consulting and contracted services. Item 10.01 is a contract for the purchase of automotive equipment. Item 10.02 is for the purchase of AP African American Studies textbooks and materials. Item 10.03 is a contract for the renewal for the e-builder software used by facilities. Item 10.04 is a license renewal for the Munis ERP system. Item 10.05 is a contract renewal for support and maintenance of server virtualization software. Item 10.06 is a contract renewal for database analysts, system analysts, and programmer services. Item 10.07 is a contract renewal for the district's independent healthcare advisor. Item 10.08 is a contract renewal for litigation services for the workers' compensation program. Item 10.09 is a contract renewal for an accounts payable recovery audit. Item 10.10 is for the purchase of HVAC equipment related to a boiler replacement at Alderdice. Item 10.11 is for the purchase of equipment for cooling tower repairs at the Central Operations Building. And item 10.12 is for the purchase, is for a contract for repairs to that cooling tower at the Central Operations Building. Item 10.13 is a contract for Cobra Administration Services. Item 10.14 is an architectural and design contract for the replacement of existing flooring and installation of classroom sinks at Pittsburgh Roosevelt Early Childhood Center. Item 10.15 is a contract for EP-led renovation, repair, and painting training for plant operations, maintenance, and facilities. Item 10.16 is a contract for the fabrication and installation of a monument sign in Perrysville Avenue near Perry High School. Item 10.17 is a contract for the fabrication and installation of no audio or recording permitted signage at all buildings throughout the district. Item 10.18 is a contract for the billing and collection of retiree healthcare insurance premium payments. Item 10.19 is a contract for remote consulting and training for Naviance. And item 10.20 is a contract for a mediation and wellness resources and proactive employee assistance program. Under payments authorized, 11.01 is for the approval of the daily payments for November. Item 11.02 is a payment for the district share of the Allegheny County Central Tax Collection Committee operating budget. Item 11.03 is a placeholder for the fine arts insurance coverage. And item 11.04 is a placeholder for excess property and boiler and machinery insurance. Under general authorization, item 12.01 is for the approval of the bank deposit and investment plan. Item 12.02 is for the approval of the 2025 Major Maintenance Fund and Capital Projects Fund. Item 12.03 is for the capital reimbursement for expenditures and advancements resolution. Item 12.04 is an amendment to our contract with Advantis Engineers. Item 12.05 is an amendment to our contract with Kapling Engineering Company. Item 12.06 is an amendment to our contract with East West Manufacturing. Item 12.07 is an amendment to our contract with Grow Pittsburgh. And item 12.08 is an amendment to our contract with Weiss Burkhardt Kramer. Under budget matters, item 15.01 is for the approval of the 2025 realty transfer tax. Item 11.02 is 15.02 is for the approval of the 2025 real estate tax. Item 15.03 is for the approval of the earned income tax for 2025. Item 15.03 is a placeholder for the 2025 homestead farmstead exclusion. And item 15.05 is for the approval of the 2025 general fund budget. Section 16 contains the travel report, travel reimbursement applications, and the EBE report for this month. And under new business, there are 3 items. These are for the ratification of the PFT professional, paraprofessional, and technical clerical bargaining unit agreements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Questions from the board on the business section of the agenda? Ms. Talaferro.
Thank you. I wanted to just ask a question for, sorry, let me switch my agenda pages. 15.05, the general fund budget. During Monday's budget public hearing, as well as an email that was sent to myself and Director Yord, there were some questions related to staffing for ESL positions. And I know that myself and Director Yord received a response to that question, but I wanted to ask it here on the floor tonight just to be able to get a public response to the reasoning why those positions look like they're being or may be eliminated. So I guess that question would be for Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, so we are not reducing our ESL positions. We are reducing the positions that are covered by the general fund. For the past 2 years, when we received increases to our Ready to Learn block grant funding, we would move expenditures for ESL staff to those funds because those were eligible funds, and we received them after the approval of our budget. So when we look at our budget over the past couple of years and we see that we've spent less than we've budgeted, one of those reasons is uses of ESSER funding and also using Ready to Learn block grant funding. based on the last budget, we know that the amount that we're receiving for Ready to Learn block grant funding is in statute, so we're not going to receive any less funding next year than we received this year. So in order to make sure that our budgets actually do match our expenditures, a portion of our ESL staff is being moved to the Ready to Learn block grant funding. So we are maintaining the same number of positions. I think, in fact, we routinely add ESL positions as the population grows. So we are not terminating or reducing any funding for any positions for ESL because that is a growing population.
Thank you for that explanation, and that yields my questions on the agenda, on this portion of the agenda. Thank you.
Other questions? Ms. Wilson?
Not a question. I just want to make note that it's great to see that we will be voting on 3 contracts: the PFT professional, paraprofessional, and technical clerical, and we have not had a work stoppage in 39 years. So I think that's rather commendable for all involved. Thank you.
Ms. Petrosky?
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Pertaining to the budget book, and I apologize that I should have prepped this a little bit better, but for the, this is either for Mr. Joseph or Mr. McNamara, for the bus patrol program, do the revenues from that program go to the general fund, or does that go to a different programming?
We have a special operating fund that's set aside. It's not in the general fund, so
Okay.
they're recorded to that fund, and those funds are made available for various safety and improvement purposes.
Okay, then never mind. Thanks.
Wonderful, thank you. I did have a question, and this is just probably because I missed it. The rate increase for WBK, I know we haven't, it's been several months since we talked about that. Is something different?
No, so there are 2 contracts that WBK has with the district. One is the original contract that WBK entered the district with, which was for tax and real estate matters. And that's the contract that covers the cost of all of the assessment appeals and any TIF work or real estate work. That contract, for the duration of the contract since we've had it, has never had the rate adjusted to the rate that the general solicitor contract is. So this is bringing that rate up to the current rate. This doesn't represent an increase to the overall contract, but just making sure that the rates align.
Understood. That was all I had. Any others before we call it an evening? All right, well, I want to thank you all for your time and attention to this. We will adjourn this meeting and see you all on Monday for a public hearing. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and be safe if you're out driving.